So, let me introduce you all
Gadget.
to
Gadget.
Hi.
Hello. What's going on, everyone? I'm Sound, aka Chris. Good to be here.
Nice, perfect.
Sound check. Sound check.
Chris, thank you so much again for being here today. I appreciate you for taking this time.
Of course, I appreciate you inviting me.
Yeah, no, you know that
Get my chair
Chat. What's happening with your chair? Oh, too
I
low?
can't get the height right. I don't want to see too short, but I don't want to be like way up there. Anyway,
Maybe if I don't scream?
well, what's the fun in that?
You're right. Plus,
Yeah.
I'm Italian. I was not born to not scream. Anyway, Chad, I already had a talk with Chris before because I wanted to talk to him before to understand. Actually, we started talking because he proposed to help me out to do the podcast, which is insane. We have to work on it. I know. I have to. I still haven't recorded nothing. I was supposed to do it this morning, but I got a lunch with my family. Sorry.
Hey, priorities. It's all good. Family comes first, you know?
Yes. But I already had a talk with them, and while we were talking, I was like, wait, hold on. This is so interesting. And then I invited them to join us on stream, and because I found them very, very interesting. Plus, I always told you, Chad, that I want to learn sign language. So this is the best solution, I would say. So thank you so much for being here again.
Of course. Again, thank you for a chance to get out here and kind of bring more awareness to it. So it's something that I know I wasn't very aware of prior to everything happening. So I realized that unless it truly affects your almost your everyday life, most people don't think about it. It's just not a huge awareness thing. So
Yeah.
I'm
Actually,
always happy.
since chat doesn't know you, do you want to say, you want to present yourself? And I think that you will be better than me at presenting yourself. And
Well, what do you want me to present? Do you want me to just tell a little bit about what
Chris?
happened, or
yeah, whatever you want. If you feel comfortable sharing what happened, or uh, when did you start learning sign language and all of that?
yeah,
But also, that I don't want to categorize you as deaf. I just want to I also want you to do everything about you.
yeah,
We want to know. Who are you?
right. Well, that was which I'll get to, but that was one of the things I had to learn too was there's more to somebody than being deaf, and it took me losing my hearing and as I've started saying recently, gaining my deafness to really realize that you can't categorize someone as a deaf person. It's just a person who is deaf, just like it's a person who is Italian, or it's a person who is, Christian,
Yes.
or a football player, whatever you want to call it. It's just a part of who they are. It's not all of who they are. So I appreciate that. That means a lot. But yeah, so I'm Chris. I'm 34 years old. I live in the United States, in Tennessee.
That's the one. I didn't remember where you were from. Tennessee. Okay.
Yeah.
There's too many countries in there.
The classic
States.
pickup line, the only 10 I see. Anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, so that is a good transition into the second part about me, which is I'm extremely awkward and have a really weird sense of humor. It's really dry, really blah. But I find it hilarious, which keeps me smiling.
We could call them dad jokes. Because actually, every joke that you do is a dad joke.
That's true.
No matter.
That's true, because
No
I
matter.
am a dad. I am.
Yeah.
So I am a dad. I have 2 kids. I have a 10-year-old daughter, and I have an 8-year-old son. About, I'd say September, October of 2019, I really started to notice something was changing. I felt like I had a sinus infection, is how it started. You get kind of clogged up and everything sounds like maybe you're kind of underwater, things like that. And then after about 2 months, that hadn't gone away. So I was like, well, I should probably see someone.
With
Um,
time.
yeah, I was a little concerned, just a little bit. So yeah, so I went to the doctor. He recommended me to an audiologist, and come to find out, I had progressive hearing loss from past injuries, previous injuries, and kind of side effects from military service. I did do 10 years in the United States Marine Corps. That's where I got into my career field that I'm in now, eventually. But initially, I had some issues. I was deployed to different countries, and different things happened. Lots of loud sounds, traumatic brain injury or three. Um, and it just kind of caused some situations that led to my progressive hearing loss. So over the course of the next, I'd say 8 months, it really progressed to the point to a point close to where it is now. It slowed down a little bit at one point. At least to me, it slowed down because I guess it wasn't as noticeable anymore. Once you lose like 80% of your hearing, it's hard to notice that last 10% up to the 90% because it's pretty much the same.
Can I ask you, why is chat writing
Semper Fi, Semper Fidelis. It's the Latin, means always faithful. It's the motto for the Marine Corps.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, always
Thank
faithful.
you.
So
Thank
Semper
you for
Fi,
explaining
Ra,
my own
thanks.
chat. I don't understand them.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Yeah. So that's just the motto of the Marine Corps, Semper Fidelis, and Semper Fi for
Okay.
short. So,
Okay. Okay. Good to know. So what I was thinking for today, apart from knowing more about you, and I love the fact that like one of the reason why Chris also came there is because they're very dedicated to creating awareness about like about the how would you say, is it everything? It's not just being deaf, but also on how to communicate with people that have hearing problems.
yeah, the culture as a whole.
Yeah, exactly. First, before learning anything about sign language, there are saying that us Italian talk a lot with our hands.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what I
Yep.
wanted to propose to you is, before you teach me anything, I'm gonna try to tell you something. All right, with my hands. I'm not gonna be talking. So no lips reading, nothing.
Oh man.
Okay, and you
Okay.
have to guess what I'm saying. And also, people in chat have to guess what I'm saying. I know that Italian will get it, but I
Okay.
want to know if you can get it too.
Already
I
seeing
want,
this.
you're gonna see this, so don't look at chat. All right. I think that the reason is because you're eating your grandma's pasta. You're eating a lot, and
Yeah.
you have your mouth full, and she asks you how is it, and you cannot like go oh, because then
You
it's
don't want to be
unpolite,
rude.
right? Right. So you go out. You can continue eating.
As you continue to shovel the food into your mouth. No, it
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense. Yeah.
yeah. That's exactly how it was born. It's scientifically proven. Yes.
Doesn't interrupt the eating process, and it's also not rude.
Not interrupting the eating process. I remember you told me one sign the last time that I was dying for. That you told me like a sign that I was hilarious. There. Oh. Okay.
Just to
I
clarify,
remember.
is
I
Chris
remember.
lip reading when you're talking to him? No. That's another
No, no,
fun
no.
fact. My career is I work in computers and technology, mostly cybersecurity, things of that nature. But I coded out a program that overlaps with Discord, since it's open source. That has an open source table. So I made a caption software that allows me to read captions. So great
Yeah.
question though.
Yeah, actually, I don't know, like, tell me if I'm wrong, but what I realized talking to you is like I can actually ask you anything. Like during the last call, I was generally be like, I have a question. Can I? I was like, that go for it. Why are you gonna ask me this? Oh, yes. Can I ask you?
Yeah.
So like, I found you very, very open to answer to anything, and thank you so much first of all for that, because I think that many of us, we have questions, but we also don't want to be unpolite because we don't know, right? But I find that you are very, very open and super, super kind and nice. So chat, if you have any question, I guess you can ask them freely in chat, and please, if something, if you think that something is bad, like it's a bad question, like not a bad question, but like not polite, you
Yeah.
just say, oh, just to let you know that it's not a polite question to ask, but, and like
That's what I
I know.
that's what I usually approach it with most people is I'll tell them like, hey, you can ask me because I'm open about it, but generally don't bring that into
Yeah.
a conversation with someone else who's part of the deaf community. Maybe
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
it's not seen as polite, or they might see it as rude, or something like that. So I'll preface it, but yeah, it's like I said, I started learning more about this in like 2019, 2020, and I'm still really on the outside edge of the entirety of what is deaf culture. So
Mm-mm.
I still do rude things and don't realize it. When I go to like the meetups and the hangouts and stuff and everything, I will do stuff that, see, I'm going with my hands too, so I gotta be careful. But I'll still do things that they're like, yeah, we don't do that, or we don't say that, or we don't talk about that. Like, that's rude, that's personal, whatever. But me, it's taken me a while to get here, but I am an open book about it. And then my friends and stuff, they do ask me questions about it. They
I
do,
super appreciate that of you, for real.
yeah. So I'm more than happy to answer any questions you guys got, any of them, anything to
Like,
bring awareness.
because sometimes it is scary to talk
Hmm.
and to ask questions, because you don't know if you're being curious or just being putting your nose in stuff that you should not care of. Like, so you like, so thank you for being like this. Really,
Of course,
really, really
yeah.
meaningful. I just remember what was the thing that I wanted chat to know. You like, if you're playing a game and you need a heal, what do you usually ask Sage to do, or the healer to do? Like, do you ask them to do ara ara, or what is the other thing that you usually ask? Let me see if they got into this one. Let me see if they know this.
Oh
What
yeah,
does this?
that's the ooh thing, right? On social media with all the kids and stuff, they do the finger thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's pain.
yeah. Pain,
If you twist it, it's like pain. If you go like that, it's pain. Either
pain,
one, it just depends on the region. But yeah, so that's pain.
pain. So when you're asking to the cute person, oh, can you do that? You're asking them to say pain.
Yeah, I'm in pain. I'm
I'm
in
in pain.
pain. Because it's centralized too with where you do the sign. So like this is like a headache.
Oh,
And this
like,
is like a
oh.
stomach ache if you do it down here, shoulder pain, neck pain. Yeah.
Oh, in it.
So you're
What
basically
is? Yeah.
signifying the area where the pain is.
Now you will ubu all the time.
So
Pain.
so when guys and girls do this on the social media and they're doing like this, they're saying they're having chest pains. So I'm very worried for them.
Oh.
You know, is your left arm numb? Are you experiencing any type of tingling? You know?
I feel like in Italy we have two hand gestures, but it's basically one, but it depends the direction, it changes the meaning. So we have this one and we have this one.
Okay.
You know, what
Color
would you
me
say?
interested. I have no
What?
idea.
You have no idea what these means?
To me, it would mean, if just
Hmm.
off like my common sense, this one where
Hmm.
you go to the outside
Yeah.
would have something to do with like come in or welcome. The other one, I don't know.
Okay. So let's do a POV. Okay.
Yeah, I was
We
gonna say
are
use
at.
it in context.
Okay, I'll use it a context. Okay. We are at the party. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What
Gotcha.
happened?
Let's go. It's like a let's go over here kind of thing.
Yeah, it was like I just saw someone that I didn't like. I said like, let's go.
Yep.
Let's go. So if
Time to get
it's
out.
the palm is toward me, I realized Italian. Let me know if it works for you. Same. But if
Mm-hmm.
you have your palms towards you, it means like we all go. If it's on the opposite, like, bro, go, like leave.
Like you go.
So if I do to you, like, I mean, it's like go.
Time to leave. Got it. It's very funny because in sign language, palm orientation denotes who you're talking to.
Oh.
So
Okay.
like something is mine or
Mhm.
something is yours.
Well, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because we're talking about American Sign Language. All right, this is important to know. It's American.
Yes. Yeah.
To mom. So wait, so they say your mom? Do you do like? No,
Your mom. Yeah.
your mom. Okay. No, then we can go. Your mom.
So now when someone says something mean to you in public, you don't have to say anything back. You know what I mean? But you can be like, your mom.
Your mom. I'll do it so much. I'll do it so often. So like, but if I want to say my mom, I'll go like palm towards me and that.
Yep.
Or touching myself.
Yeah. So my mom.
My mom. All right.
So
my
palm
mom.
orientation denotes who you're talking to. Shows possession, basically, in sign
Okay.
language.
I'm not sure G can be trusted with sign language. Shut up. Mima? Yes, your mom. Oh yeah, someone in chat has a question. What if you have pain in your index?
In your index finger?
Yeah,
Then
how
you
do
would point at the
do-
one, yeah. Similar
you
to
do
what you're
this?
doing. So you could go like this, or like this,
Ah.
or like if it's in your hand.
How do they know that you're not just pointing at something, but you're actually saying, I am in pain here?
That is a terrific question, which leads to the other important part that threw me off earlier from your
Yeah?
hand gestures. It's your facial
Yeah.
expressions, it's your emotion,
Oh.
and it's the
So if I'm
context. A whole lot of
Okay.
sign language is based off facial expression and context. And it's also what makes lip reading a little bit easier, is you start to learn how to pick up on people's body language and the context of what's going on, what the situation is, you know? Because if I'm like, did he just say eggs? But we're nowhere where anybody would be talking about eggs, then my brain can rule that out.
Okay.
Sign language is very similar. It's built out in such a way that it's very direct to the point, and you lead off every kind of conversation or every interaction, I guess, with the main point. So you have context built in.
The idea would be to like learn a little bit of sign language. And as I was telling you, I would love to learn sign language because I love whenever I'm like in a different country or like in my own country and I see maybe some tourists that are having troubles and they cannot understand with the language. I love to, if I know the language, I'd love to put myself in the middle and just help them out. But when I see someone that I cannot, like they're deaf or maybe they cannot talk, I really don't know how to help, even though like I know perfectly the other language, but I'm missing that other one. So we could start with like learning how to say, hey, hi, how are you, and all of that. But I would also love to learn about how to say, how can I help, or what is the problem. Like I do a lot of hand gestures. Whenever you watch my stream, do I ever drive you off? Like I say something, but with my hands I say something else, and you're like, what?
I'd
Because
say
I do this
initially-
very much. I talk like a lot.
Yeah, I'd say initially, in the beginning, when I first tuned in, I was a little bit thrown off here or there. Not bad, but just like once or twice here or there with little things. But I've kind of just come to ignore the hand gestures almost. I kind of just read the
Like,
captions and then do the study time, and I'm good, you know, so.
Because I can imagine like myself being like, so happy today. I'm very happy.
Imagine my dismay the first couple times I popped in, it didn't really come up that much. I guess nobody in chat asked about it. But then like the third or fourth time I was on your stream, we're doing the study time, you know, we're doing, it's 45 minutes, and somebody types in like exclamation point song or playlist. And it took me 3 or 4 streams to realize you were playing music during those study times.
Wait, doesn't your caption say music?
No, I'm not that advanced yet.
Okay.
I know that sometimes on movies, TV shows, things like that,
Yeah.
they'll say like applause or laughter or music. I haven't figured out how to really get it to recognize that kind of stuff. So like when I'm talking with my friends in Discord, a lot of times my friend Steven will just go, ha 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 ha. And that way the captions will caption out, ha 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 ha.
Imagine, they can trick you so much.
Exactly. Yeah. And sarcasm a lot of times is lost on me too, because sarcasm is very much tone of voice.
Really?
So
You
pretty
don't
much
get sarcasm.
I have to assume that everything is sarcastic or everything is serious. So and it just depends again on the person. So I learn more about the person's personality over time, and then I just kind of can assume when they're being sarcastic or when they're making a joke or something like that. So
God. I cannot imagine living without sarcasm.
Oh, I was very sarcastic. I think I still might be pretty sarcastic,
Yeah,
but
you are sometimes.
sometimes, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it again, it was eye opening when everything changed in learning, and then of course it was 2020, so
Mm-hmm.
COVID was
Yeah.
going around, so everyone's wearing masks, so I can't hear and I
No.
can't see, and so that was really the push point for me. That was the point in life where I was like, I have to learn this. I have to learn a new language, and I had to learn sign language at
How,
32
how long
years
did
old.
it take you to learn a
I'm
sign
still
language?
learning.
Okay.
I still learn
Okay.
every day. I still try to practice every day. It's like any language, it's complicated, but the vocabulary is significantly smaller than most languages. There's not a sign depending, let me clarify. Depending on the type of sign language that you use, there's usually not a sign for every word that's in a vocabulary. So, for example, in American Sign Language, it doesn't match up word for word to the English dictionary. In
Okay.
fact, there's maybe not even a third of the English dictionary is actually in sign language. It's just a lot of signs have multiple meanings for similar words. How are you communicating with G right now? Is your
Yeah,
program running
actually.
on the side? Yeah, so the final part of the design of that program was making it into a window that overlays on my screen so that the captions show up on top of whatever's on my screen. So, for example, when I'm playing games, I have two monitors. The top monitor above where I'm playing, on the bottom part of the monitor is where my friends' captions show up as they're talking and stuff, so I don't have to look very far when I'm, you know, trying to concentrate. But yeah, so it overlays on the screen. And then the color, I change the color of the captions that come out based on the audio input that's coming in. So, for example, in Discord, everybody in a call has their own audio channel. So I assign that person in that audio channel a color. Usually I let them pick their favorite color, unless it's already taken by somebody who had dibs first because they were there longer.
I choose mine.
You sure can, yeah.
Can I have it gray?
No,
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Yes, it'll have to be.
Who picked gray?
Yeah, it'll have to be. That was my initial reaction. It'll have to be a lighter gray, almost a white, because
Okay.
it has to show up on the background.
Okay.
So if it's too dark of a gray, it'll just blend in.
Okay.
But
It
yeah,
is not sarcasm. Oh, yours was sarcasm. Yours was sarcasm.
that was my
right there.
sarcasm. It was, yeah.
Good. Okay.
Again, very blunt and direct, though. I'm very dry.
That's fine. Chad, yeah, this is really, really cool. Like to repeat, like you made this by yourself. Like you trained something to recognize your voice. Like
Yeah, so
not your voice, but like sounds.
the display part, the colors part, and then the interaction with Discord, I did myself. The the dictionary, the vocabulary for captions itself is just ripped from other sources. They have that word recognition table that's like the definition table, the vocabulary already that exists in the real world. So I was not about to try to create that with all the different words that are in the language. So I just pulled it from an open source that was available, and then I built my program around that. So yeah.
I was going to ask you if you have ever thought about selling this thing that you created for, like, for example, to OBS, because I'm using the caption on OBS, but they suck so much. Like, they don't recognize at all what I'm saying. And I know that my English is not perfect, but I'm not that bad to think
perfect
that
to
I'm
me.
talking about broccolis. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, actually, yeah, perfect to you. Because
my captions are perfect.
But also because at the beginning you didn't even know that I was Italian.
That's right. Yeah. For the first couple streams, I did not. I'd say for the first two. And in the second stream, toward the end of the second stream, you talked about going somewhere on Saturday, like to a restaurant or something. And then you said to the chat, anybody here in this town? And I was like, where is that? And then I had to look it up. And I was like, this is in Italy. So
Yeah. Chat, we can say from Chris' point of view, my English is perfect. Thank you. So
Was it expensive to build all this equipment? Did you get financial help for it by institutions? No, so I already had the equipment. The equipment is my computer. Um, so the program itself it's just back-end coding. It's just like software coding. The same way that you would install an application on your computer, this runs like an application, or on your phone. So no, it wasn't very expensive. It was expensive as far as time consuming, but I only do things like that on my off time when I'm not working. So yeah, to answer your question, G, maybe one day I'll make it available for like a phone app or a combo that's like it works on your phone. Also, it works on a desktop. But it's a hard decision for me because I made it because I needed it to live my life where I'm interacting with people on the computer. So it would be hard for me to then go out there and say, hey, if you're deaf and you need a caption software, you can buy mine.
That's what I was saying.
I feel like I'm exploiting
I was going
people.
to ask you. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was. I kind of understood you already a little bit, so I knew that you would not want to like sell it.
Right.
But if you sell it to OBS, which is a company,
I probably still wouldn't. I would maintain the rights to it, and I might lease it to the company in that they pay like me to have the ability to use it. Sure. But I'm not going to sell the product itself, like the whole copyright and everything to them. Because what I would want to do is I would sell it to them, to like someone like OBS or even Discord, where they can use it. They can pay to have the ability to use it. But I want to maintain the rights to it because I would take it to like these centers we have around here that are called like Bridges. The name of the center is like Bridges. So it's like bridging the cultures between hearing and deaf. And I would offer it to them for free so that as people come in, if they need it, Bridges can give it to them. They can take it home and use it. So it would be free to use for the deaf community for sure, or anybody that really needed it. But if a program like OBS or like Discord wanted to use it, then yeah, I would say give me 10 grand and you got rights to use it for the next 5 years or whatever.
Even just because like you worked on it and like
yeah,
you don't have to work on it. I'll give it to you. Yeah, exactly. That makes sense. That makes a completely sense.
Yeah.
There was a question. Oh, if your kids are learning sign language, yes, right?
Yeah, they are.
That's amazing.
My daughter more so than my son. My son's a typical 8-year-old boy. It doesn't have to do with Minecraft or Pokemon, so he's not super interested in it, which I completely relate to because when I was his age, I was the same way. Which is why I never learned anything like that until I had to. And let me tell you, it's a lot more fun to learn something when you want to than it is when you have to. Because a lot of things, I guess something that people don't think about is when you have to learn sign language, you can't just go on YouTube and watch videos of people telling you how to do sign language because you can't hear what they're saying. So some of my favorite videos that I watch, where is that couple where the woman's American and the husband's Italian, and I just they're so
TikTok.
Yeah, they're
Those
so
are
funny.
TikToks. He watches TikTok, chat.
Occasionally. By the way, if you're a TikTok creator out there in G's chat right now, please caption your videos. Please. It's not hard. There's so many where my friends send me videos and they're like, check this out, it's so funny. And I'm like, I'm sure it is. Is it easy? I've never tried to caption.
Yeah, you know, it's like on TikTok, you just make upload a video and it just makes the captions. Like
it makes the captions for you.
Yeah, all my TikToks has like the text on it, and there it's automatically made by TikTok.
See, super easy. So just turn it on. Just
it's not just for people that are deaf, but also for people that are in class, and they cannot have the audio on.
Well, okay, they can all be addicted like you, G.
Oh, fair. So how do I say my name is Julia? How do you say a name?
You fingerspell it initially.
We have a letters alphabet in Italy, like one with the hands. Yeah. I don't know if it's for kids or if it's also sign language. Can you tell me if it's the same for you? Like I'll do it and you tell me if it's like a kids thing or if it's for everyone.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm
Okay.
not sure how it'll line up exactly,
We have
but we
A.
could try it. Oh my goodness.
Is the same?
That's A?
Yeah, A.
That's like the
No?
flirty face. You
What
know
do
the
you mean? No!
I
No!
can't do it good. I'm terrible because there's a
Wait,
whole
what
lot of
did
ugly going on right here.
Did I
But
just flirt?
that's why I got kind of caught off guard because I was like, "Is that A?" Because I thought you were like, I thought I said something and you were like, Sorry." But yeah, no, A. Okay. I mean, it makes sense. I get that.
A. What? How is the B? How is B? I don't remember. A, B. Well, C, D. Can you tell me if I'm, what about this one?
Well, that's
B.
R
Oh, this is B.
in
This is
American
B.
Sign Language. That's R.
This is R. Okay,
But
R.
you
Like
don't
this.
you don't space
No,
it.
no, no. Okay.
You
You do
just
like this. Okay.
yeah.
Oh, so B is this one.
Mm,
Okay.
I don't get that, but sure.
A, B, C, D, E, F.
That's close.
How is F? F. I don't remember it. It's like something that we do as kids.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that is more for kids or if it has to do with
F?
Italian Sign Language. Because there is Italian Sign Language, just like there's American Sign
Oh.
Language and there's British Sign Language, Chinese Sign Language, different things like that. So.
F? F? G? I don't know. Oh my god, there's... No, that's not H. I? L, M, N, O, P?
Wow.
What's wrong with P?
That's like a full body.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
these
yeah.
are it's more than just the hand.
This is the H. H? P? P. Q, Q is, no, this is R. This is R.
What?
What is that? What is this in sign language?
It's kind of... we'll get into that another day.
Is it bad? What did I
Can be.
say? What did I say?
Okay. Hold on, what does it say? How can you understand someone from another country if the sign languages are different? That's a great question. That's
Like,
a
how can
great
you
question.
understand someone if they speak a different language from yours?
This is an example of that as she's going through like an alphabet that could be part of Italian Sign Language or at least some part of it incorporated into it. It's very different from what our alphabet is. A lot of things are different, but some things are very similar with how they're signed or the context or how they're used. That is the beautiful thing about sign language is no matter where you go, no matter what the situation is, if you see someone signing, you can recognize sign versus gesturing pretty easily, and you immediately have a friend. If you sign and they sign, a few minutes together, a little bit of time together, and you can start to figure out a way to communicate with each other, even in different languages, because it's very intuitive.
Yeah,
So,
I guess so.
It's really cool. It's definitely brought me a sense of community that I didn't have before. Somebody noticed that I was signing to my daughter because when I'm talking now, because I spent 32 years talking. When I go out in public, I don't talk. I don't. And it's not because I want people to treat me any differently, but it's because if I'm deaf
I get it.
and I start talking to someone, it's human nature. They forget that I'm deaf. They just forget.
Yeah. And it will
And
start
then-
talking to you, and you're like,
really fast,
What?
and they start looking around and they're like ringing up my groceries and looking down and they're trying to talk to me.
and
And
you're
I
like, what are you saying?
exactly. So it's easier for me to help them by me not speaking so they understand that they need to communicate with me differently. Put a little bit, just a little bit of effort in. So that sense of community that comes from it is I was signing with my daughter while we were in Target about getting ready to leave, and I had a couple people come up to me and just immediately, they were, hey, how are you? Just signing to me. And so you have a friend immediately. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what religion you are, what color you are. you both sign, and that's all it takes. You're friends. So
And we have after the R, we have the S.
okay.
No.
I mean, I don't know what that would. How's that S?
I have no idea. I think that it's because like that it's like so it goes like
It just
it's
keeps
something-
rolling.
Yeah, it's a rolling thing,
Yeah.
So S, T, U, V,
Those make sense.
and then Z.
That's W.
That's Z. No, because we in Italy we don't have K, J, W.
W. Yep. Okay.
Z.
That's right. Yeah.
This is Z.
So what do you call a W when you see a W?
W.
Okay.
No, W.
Okay.
Which means double V.
Yeah. Which
Because
makes
it's
sense because that's what it is. It's a double
Yeah.
V. It's not a U.
Makes
It's
sense.
not a W. English is stupid. I say it many times. Many times.
Magician, thank you so much for the 1 BD. With three fingers? Oh, fair. But it was to prove it.
Do it with 3 fingers. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Cam is trying so hard to fix. Oh, thank you, JJ, for fixing that. Thank you. So How do
There
I
was a
say-
deaf girl
what?
in my college
Yeah.
English class. She loved her sidekick phone. She used it to communicate all the time because she almost never spoke. Yeah.
sidekick phone.
So
What's a
it's-
sidekick phone.
There's a couple. The sidekick, the one where it's like long and then you hit the screen and it
Oh!
flips up. Sidekick. I had one
Okay.
of those back in the day.
Back in the day.
Back in the day when dinosaurs roamed the earth. I'm old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so couple things in there. That's why in today's age, I say that it is not an excuse to say you don't know sign language to communicate with someone who's deaf. You have, most everyone has a phone and you can type. And believe me, people who are deaf have no issues with typing a conversation back and forth. The only one that's going to be impatient or have a problem with it is going to be the person who can just talk. Because that's faster than sitting there typing and then waiting for someone else to type. So people get impatient. They're like, oh, other people are in the line or whatever. They're waiting. And so they get nervous and they're like, I can't. A little bit of effort goes a long way. So typing, using the sidekick to like type out the messages and that kind of stuff, absolutely. And the other part of that is she almost never spoke. I guess there's a common misconception. There's a thing that is deaf, and then there is a thing that is deaf mute. And then there's another thing that is mute. Not everyone who is one is the other. So I'm not saying that this person in your chat was saying that. It brought up the idea in my head, so I was talking about. There's a misconception, I guess, that most people that are deaf can't talk. And it's not that they can't talk, it's that they don't talk. Because verbal language is heard to be learned. You learn, that's why accents exist. People in different regions talk a little bit differently.
Okay.
And so their kids learn from them and their kids learn from them because they're emulating what they're hearing. So deaf people can't emulate what we hear. We have to emulate like everything. Eventually my speech will go downhill too because I'm not hearing what I'm saying.
Do you have like people that can teach you like a logopedician? Is that how they're called? The people that teach you how to talk? So even if you
speech
don't
therapist?
hear, speech therapist. So even if you don't hear it, you know where the air should go when you say a letter. So you train that.
Yeah, so we do have speech
do
therapy.
that?
Again, it's one of those things that's a touchy subject. Speech therapy in the deaf culture, deaf community can either be seen as helpful or the devil. Because we shouldn't be forced. I say we, like I was not born into the community, obviously. I'm learning this stuff as I come in, so I don't want to misrepresent anything.
You're not saying anything bad.
Yeah, for the deaf community in general. But some members within deaf culture, within the deaf community, see speech therapy as a way of hearing people not accepting that we communicate differently and forcing us to communicate on their level.
Oh, okay.
And it's the same kind of idea. It's just like over the years it's evolved from hearing impairment. We don't say that anymore. You don't say that someone's hearing impaired because that insinuates that there's something wrong with them. and we don't believe that
Oh,
being deaf
didn't I
means
just
that we're
say? Didn't
broken.
I just say it?
No, you said hearing problems earlier, but
Oh, there we go.
that's not as bad. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, it's
So you rather be
deaf,
called
hard
like
of hearing.
deaf, hard of hearing, instead of like saying impaired.
Right,
Oh, okay.
because
Okay.
impaired insinuates that there's something that needs to be
There's
fixed.
a paired. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Um,
not a disease, it's just a cultural difference, is how how the community sees it. A lot of the community, not all. And then obviously people like me, I don't believe that I fit in either. I'm not part of the hearing community
mhm,
anymore, even though I was for most of my life. But I also wasn't born into the deaf community, so I don't really have an identity in either one. I kind of straddle the fence. And a lot of people feel uncomfortable or out of place when
mm,
that happens. I see it as an opportunity for stuff like this.
mm,
I have lived most of my life so far. What will hopefully
mhm,
end up being at least half my life, but we'll see. But most of my life in the hearing community, and now I'm transitioned into the deaf community because of gaining my deafness. So I see that as an opportunity to communicate with both sides and help with awareness, not only with the deaf culture to the hearing community, but also with hearing culture to the deaf community, because
I,
they're very separated as it stands right now. We don't understand a lot about each other either direction. We know that each other exists and we know the basics, but we don't really fully understand the differences in the culture on either side. So that's why I'm happy to come on and talk about this kind of stuff.
I have a question. Like, you know, when you go to like very loud places, like you go
Sure.
to a supermarket, you cannot know that there is like a lot of people and there's a lot of sound. So maybe when you're maybe talking to your kids or to someone, how do you adjust your voice? Like, because maybe there's a lot of sound and you just go
Right.
and they cannot hear you because it's too loud.
Yeah,
How
so
do you know if you have to scream or?
most of it's muscle memory.
Mhm,
Um, that's why I say that my speech will go downhill eventually. It'll
mhm,
get worse. It'll start to slur, words will run together, things like that. Because my muscle memory is going to fade over time. And people would say, oh, if you're talking every day, then your muscle memory won't fade. Well, the problem is, if you do something every day, it becomes a habit, right? But if you do it
mhm,
wrong every day, it becomes a bad habit. And
mhm.
every day that goes
What if
by
you?
that I can't hear and adjust my own speech,
Yeah,
it
exactly.
starts to get worse, and that becomes the muscle memory
Hmm.
instead of the correct way. So
Hmm.
eventually it will fall off some.
Okay.
So I'm working a lot with muscle memory, and then also it's the feeling. Like,
Hmm.
if you're yelling a lot, your throat gets
Hmm.
strained, it hurts, or you can
Hmm.
feel tightness
Oh
on the
yeah.
sides, things like that.
True.
So I basically pay real close attention
Oh,
to
okay.
how strained my neck is, and that tells me how loud I'm talking. Because when I get excited, when I was when I was hearing,
Hmm.
when I would get excited, I would get real loud. I was a loud
Yeah.
person. So it's I have to be conscious of that, because even now, if I get excited, then
Hmm.
I'll get louder,
Oh yeah.
and before I know it, I'm screaming in the middle of the supermarket, like you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like,
Yeah,
like, has it ever happened to you that maybe you went to like the doctor waiting room and you're like, "Oh, hi, it's me, Chris," and
I've
they're
embarrassed a
screaming,
couple friends in public.
or like, "Look at that guy, he looks so hot," and who looks hot?
Yeah,
Who?
that was almost the exact situation. I'm pretty sure. I was out with one of my friends, and he was like,
Oh my god.
look, and I was like, oh
Like,
damn,
who?
like loud, and he was like, dude. So yeah, so
That would be hilarious. Wow! Someone entering. Amazing.
I guess you have
Um,
to continue speaking though, or you'll forget which the correct. Oh, okay. So yeah, I guess I have to continue speaking, or
mm,
I'll forget what the correct vibrations and sounds and patterns
mm.
and movements are. Yeah. So I
Yeah,
talk
but
a lot
at
here
the
at
same time,
home.
if you change like a little bit of a specific sound, you will maybe like keep making it like right.
Yep.
If you do like if you one day say the S in the not proper way, then you start always saying it wrong way,
Or if
and
I
just
stop
go on.
enunciating as clearly, like separating
Mm,
my words as clearly, it'll all start to run
mm,
together. over time,
Yeah.
more often, and it'll become part of like my speech. So
So how do I say hi? I'm Julia.
okay. So I'll go real quickly. I'll go through the American Sign Language
Go for it.
alphabet.
Yeah, please. Let's go. Wait, hold
A
on. Is there
lowercase
like
a
a
is written like
difference
that.
if you write with the right and you write with the left? Is there like a difference?
Yeah, so most people will sign one-handed signs with their dominant hand. If you're right-handed, you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, you're left-handed. It doesn't make a
It
difference in sign
just
language.
so A is the
Yep.
same. It's not
Whatever's
like,
more comfortable for you.
Okay.
So A's like that, B's like that.
Okay. A. Okay.
C.
C. Fair.
And then you got D.
Oh, the opposite. Okay.
Yeah. So like a D, yeah.
D. Yeah. This also can look like a D, but it's fine.
A capital, that's the word. Capital D, I could see that. Because it's like... it's,
capital D. Yeah.
it's like the stick with
Capital A. Anyway.
That's what I was saying. The hand shape kind of makes sense, but still, that's like the... Anyway, stop
But
flirting
is
with
it
me.
actually like a meme kind of flirt, or is it actually like if I do
Yeah, that's
this
like
to-
one of the TikTok like meme kind of flirts. It's like they do
Oh,
like...
it's just
do like that.
TikTok.
Yeah,
Oh, it's it's not like if I go to someone that
Yeah, stop flirting with me, G. All right,
as
moving
okay.
on. So C, D, and then this is E.
E.
I don't know if you
Okay,
can
I
see
see
that.
that. I see that.
I should have
see
taped
that.
my hands. So a lot of times in videos where people go over sign language, you'll see them tape their fingers in a specific pattern with bright colors. It helps to make out, because like when you're like me and you blend in with the white wall behind you because I don't see the sun ever.
I can see it clear. Oh, same. It's just the light that makes me different from
Yeah.
the background. Anyway.
You have the LED lighting that helps. Mine is.
Yeah.
I should have put up a
What the-
background. Jeez, don't judge me, chat. So that's E. Okay, and then that's F. Right. So G is like this. It is parallel
Okay.
to the ground. G.
I thought I was going to say fuck to someone.
And then this
Anyway,
is H.
G. H.
There you go. I.
I?
Just a little pinky. Palm orientation. There
Oh,
you
okay.
go.
I have my fingers are crooked. They cannot stick.
J.
Okay.
Just draw a J with your pinky. Yeah, that's J.
So you have to do the entire so this one has a motion in it. This
Yep.
one has a motion.
That
in
one
it.
has the motion in it.
I have a question. Like, I know that there is like U.S. is also known for having gangs. What if you go to a place where there might be some gangs and you start doing sign language? Do you risk your life?
They're
Because
actually-
maybe you do like. in
Believe
the
it or
wrong
not, they're very
neighborhood and, like-
educated and they're
Okay.
very respectful of it.
Really?
Yeah,
So
there's.
if they see you going for like, and they're like understanding.
I don't know if they
nice.
understand it. Like they may not speak
Like
sign
the-
language. Some
a
do.
big-
Some definitely
Ah,
do.
okay.
But I
Okay.
think it's that misconception that American gangs equals uneducated,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not always the case. And a lot of time, a lot of cases, yeah, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not always the case. And it's funny that you bring that up because I have different. Like this
Is
one
it a
has
gang?
sign
Is it a
language on it.
gang? Ah, okay.
It has sign language on it, and then has like the alphabet on the back and like a circle. And I have another
Oh.
one it's all red, and it has the "I love you" sign on it.
Yeah.
And my mom has it too. I got it from my mom as well.
Okay.
But I was walking my dog here in my apartment complex wearing that hoodie I think it was like the winter of 2020, and somebody reported me to the office administration for wearing gang colors and gang signs. And so they called me down, like sent me an email and asked me to
So
come down to
dumb,
the
like-
office. And so I wore the hoodie down to the office, and as soon as I walked in, they were like, "Oh, yeah, no, have a good day." So it happens.
Stupid
It
Karen.
definitely happens. It gets a lot of comparisons to gangs as well as the Naruto, the anime show where they do all the hand sign
Oh!
stuff to fight, and everything. Yeah, so you'll see people all the time make videos that like, and don't worry, we find them hilarious.
Okay.
We find,
Okay.
at least me and my friend group that I have that is part of the deaf community, we find them hilarious. I can't speak for everyone. Inevitably, with every
Go to
culture.
an anime convention and you start seeing a guy.
Yeah. So
you
it's
don't
always
know
funny
nothing
when it's
about
like,
anime, but like,
somebody will put like Eminem's Rap God song, and then
Yeah.
they'll show a video of like the Naruto people doing the thing, and it'll say like the sign language interpreter for Eminem, and he's like doing all that while Eminem's rapping really fast, you know? Hilarious. We think it's hilarious, at least me and my friend group. It's the funniest thing. We relate to it on such a level because there are, within the deaf community, there are famous interpreters that
Oh yeah.
do that. They do rap concerts, they do the Super Bowl, they do like they'll interpret the songs that are being sung or, you know, being rapped and things like that. And they
Eminem
get
actually has a sign language interpreter at his concerts, apparently.
who's that? Eminem actually has a sign language.
Em-
Yes, yeah. Well, he doesn't have one specifically. The venues hire them.
Yeah.
The artist can request specific
Mm-hmm.
interpreters if they know them or they've worked with them before and know they do well.
Yeah.
At a concert, they had an interpreter that just the people loved, so they got their
Yeah.
card. Like they
Yeah.
got their information, and whenever they would do concerts in certain areas, surrounding areas, the interpreter could travel to, they would request them specifically because they knew they did a good job and things like that.
But also,
So,
like, in order, like, to be able to like sign language an Eminem song, you have to be very practiced. Like, you
Yeah.
have to know all the words, and you have to be extremely fast.
yeah, and there's a difference too, like knowing the words of something that's pre-recorded makes it easier to interpret on time and like to the rhythm of the song and that kind of stuff. I am always impressed by the interpreters that do live events where it's unscripted and you don't know what's going to be said because they have to hear it, register it, translate it, interpret it, and then put it out.
Oh my god.
And they do it fast. And I struggle in a basic conversation to decide what words are going to come out of my mouth next.
Oh my god, the interpreter for WAP. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's interesting. Seen it.
You seen it?
You've seen it. Yeah.
Okay, I will need to see it.
There's
and
if a song exists, somebody has interpreted it on YouTube or in person or has captured somebody interpreting it. When you think, do you hear your voice? So yes, for me, I do because I was speaking and hearing for 32 years. But it's different now. I can't explain how it's different now, but I know that it's different from what it was. That was something that threw me for a loop. My first dream in sign language.
What?
I woke up and I wasn't sure if I just had like a really bad like acid trip or something. Like it was the entirety of the dream. Nobody spoke. There wasn't a single sound from what I can recollect of the entirety of the dream. Very much.
So people that don't hear since they cannot hear anything since they were born.
Some people that I've talked to.
How do they have inner monologue? Do they have an inner monologue?
Yeah. The ones that I've talked to, yes, the majority of them say that they do have inner thoughts, inner monologue. They just don't have an inner voice. And that's the weird part for people is how do you have thoughts that run through your head where you're just sitting there and thinking to yourself, okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this today and not attach a voice to it.
It's more they have more the images than because actually we don't when we're having their inner monologue it's not just the words, we're also thinking about the words, like the image that is behind the words. So it makes sense. I wanted to ask, there was another thing. Oh yeah.
Is it the same when you read? Yeah. Yeah. So I have a finite amount of I would say it's not really finite, but comparatively to everyone else who's going to continue hearing, I have a finite amount of accents and sounds and people's voices that I had heard in my first 32 years. Mm-hmm. That's all I will ever have in the bank. So when I read, I attach people's voices to characters in the books, even if it doesn't make sense, because that's the only thing I have to choose from, you know? So if I'm reading a book and they're Scottish, then every Scottish person is Sean Connery, you know, because that's the voice that I have in the bank. You know, if they're Italian, then it's whoever I had spoke to that was Italian. So to me, you sound exactly the same as your friend that you streamed with when you did the Halloween thing.
Oh.
Ink?
Like Enk? I sound the same as Enk?
Y'all have the same voice to me because there's a specific Italian voice or accent that sticks out in my brain, and so
I think that
once I learn you're Italian, that's what you're attached to. And I don't know if it's male or female. I couldn't tell you. It's just there.
God,
I
it's
don't know
so
how you say that
sad.
name, but that might be the best comment ever. Cries in Antonio Banderas. Yes, exactly. Exactly. If you're Spanish, then you sound like Antonio
Antonio
Banderas. Like that's just
Banderas.
the way it goes. That's how awful it is. But do you see what I'm saying? Like I can't hear what your actual voice is, so I just assign what I know to it. So
Crazy Shakira.
I will say that I know that Ank's accent is at least a little bit stronger than G's because the captions
you.
had a harder time picking him up. It was broken sentences, and I don't know if that's because he was speaking broken sentences or it just was harder for it to recognize the accent.
All right, all right. Another question. Like, now that you cannot hear music, like there is must be like very like at least I cannot imagine how would my life be without music. But especially when I work out, I could never work out without music.
I still do.
Without
I still listen to music.
You'd listen to music?
Mm-hmm. It's just really loud. I feel it.
What-
I don't
what-
listen to it
you
per
hear
se.
that?
I
You
feel
hear
it.
that? You hear
So I have, which is funny because when I play games and stuff, I still wear these. They're not connected to anything. They're not connected to anything, but they're noise canceling. So they block out all of the external vibrations that are coming in that I can't figure out what they are. Whether it's the wall shaking, a car starting, a door slamming, it blocks that kind of stuff out so I can focus on what I'm doing. And then I have two different sets of headphones. I have these, which are JBL, like just basic earbuds that go in, and they're noise canceling. And then I have bone conduction headphones, so they don't go in my ears. They go around and then over the front, and they vibrate the sounds. Like the sound comes through, but it's really like high vibration. And it vibrates the sides of my heads. And it's the same thing if I go to a live concert or things of that nature. Then the music's so loud, you can feel your shirt move when the bass hits and things like that.
Yeah.
It's the same concept. So I feel the vibrations. So I'm really big into anything that has like a hard bass line. So you can probably imagine, EDM and house music.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, beatboxing, like professional level beatboxing. I'm super into that.
Yeah.
Because it's everything they're doing is a vibration made with their mouths and their throats, so it comes through as vibrations very well, as opposed to synthesized music that comes from recorders and things like that. So yeah, I enjoy music. I miss music a lot, as far as like the lyrics and the feelings that you used to get from hearing songs and how it would make you real sad or whatever. But yeah,
Okay.
I can still feel the rhythm and the music, that kind of stuff. So it can be enjoyable.
I wanna try something.
Okay.
A. B.
Yep.
C.
Yep.
Not what D.
There you go.
E. No E.
Sorry, my nose itched.
E. Then there's the weird F, which is F.
Yep. Yep.
F. G. H.
Got it.
I.
Yep.
Dre.
Yep. K.
Oh. K. Looks like the. Oh.
So think of like the
what-
stick and the two.
What does
Okay.
this mean for you?
That's the Korean heart.
Oh. Does it mean anything else?
Not really. Not specifically. Not for me. I do love that though. I love the Korean heart thing. I think that's the sweetest, like, best thing in the world. It's kind of like the universal. Everybody knows the I love you sign.
And my little heart has some horns on it.
It's very spiky. Yeah. Very,
Spiky.
got a
Korean
sharp heart.
So then, Again, how do you do the K? How? Fuck.
Okay,
This
so
one here and
thumb
here. Ah.
thumb is just like make a fist, and then pointer finger up, middle finger out.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. This looks like a gang sign.
This is a very
is it a
common
phase?
hand shape.
Isn't this phase?
That phase up, yeah.
Phase
Like the
up?
gaming clan, phase up. Yeah, it's
Phase
actually
up,
just
phase
it's
up.
just a K, and then they open the thumb a
K.
little bit because they think. I mean, it makes sense. It looks like an F.
Yeah. Phase
Yeah.
up. Okay. K.
This is a common hand sign throughout sign language. You use this quite a lot for different
Oh,
things.
say like K.
Yeah,
you ever
because
say
it's
K?
K and then L,
L. M.
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 Yeah, but
M. Oh.
3. Yeah,
Wait.
takes some practice. Sign language hands, you get good with the digits.
Okay.
Boys in the chat. That way you can
For what?
tell the ladies, you know. I know sign language. You know what them hands
You
do.
can tell them M. Oh.
Keep it PG. All right, so then N is just take one off. You got it. All right, let's move on to an easy one. O.
Oh, easy.
Yeah. Okay. So now comes the inverted hand signs. P. So think of the phase up,
No.
but you're putting a little more space there because you want it to look like a P. So this is Q. So think the Q is like a capital Q, like you have the circle and then the stick that comes out of it. R.
Okay. All right. We
Which
said
makes sense because
yeah.
it looks like the stick with the, and then
a lot of.
S. So like A, S is with the thumb in front.
Wait. But wasn't it there? This is M. Okay.
Yeah. So
S.
not underneath, on top. S.
Okay. S.
T.
E.
T.
Okay.
U.
This was easier. Anyway.
Yeah, but you can't always use two hands.
So it's. Okay. This
U.
one was
H. U.
U.
V.
V.
W.
W. Chill.
X.
Yeah.
X. My favorite. Y.
Yeah. Y.
Yeah. You ready for Z?
Okay.
Z.
Yellow, yeah. Why didn't you do? Why couldn't it be like P?
Well,
S,
Z's the only one that's written
T?
because it would be way too hard to interpret somebody sitting there going like this. My name is Chris.
My name is.
Basically just writing in cursive at that point.
You're
Like a no. To see is disappointing, I have to say. Agreed. All these, you're sitting there going through like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then you're like Z. But it's really fun when you say like pizza.
Oh wait,
Like
wait,
if you're
wait. Pizza. The weird thing. Oh, fuck. No.
I am not sure what you're doing right now.
Pizza.
Phase up.
P.
Phase up.
P.
Phase up.
Isn't it this P? No,
Phase
this
up.
is Q.
Yeah.
Phase up, but down.
Yeah.
Phase it down. P I Z Z.
That's where it gets fun. So when letters are duplicated in a word that you're fingerspelling in sign language, you slide them.
You slide them?
You slide them.
What
Which
do you mean
is
you
so much
slide
fun.
'em?
So much fun. So if your name was Ann, A-N-N, that's how you spelled your name. Ann, or A-N-N-E, like Ann, right? You would do A-N-N-E. You slide it.
Oh!
So with
Z-
pizza, you can't slide it like that with one finger, right?
No.
So you do two. So you do P-I-Z-A. Z. It's so fun. I love it. The trendy word in the hearing culture is for like, oh, that's tight, dope, cool, ill, sick, no cap.
Okay.
I don't know what the kids say nowadays.
Sheesh.
I'm old.
What? How do you say sheesh?
Well, not like that. The kids do the sheesh thing with the arm. Yeah. No, that's drugs. Just like pain, drugs,
Jeez.
pain and drugs. That's what all our kids are.
Okay.
You just went full penguin. What's wrong?
I was thinking.
Oh, okay.
You went full
I thought I
penguin.
said something I wasn't supposed to. I thought you were mad at me for a second. That
I was thinking.
looked like you were about to use my full legal name.
I was thinking like, oh, that maybe like this was born from like something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You did though. You went full penguin.
Don't tell chat stuff that they're gonna use against me later. So okay,
A
chat,
penguin
understand.
stance is because of the sheath's realization.
But holy.
Yeah,
Did
what
I
about
say
holy? G may need that. I'm gonna have to see if there's a slang for that. There is a sign for like
Holy.
holy, but it would not work for like
Like,
accentuated, you know?
okay.
Look,
So-
somebody hit it. You said holy, and so the stream elements came up and said you have holied
Stop it.
130 times.
Stop it. Stop it. I say it sometimes. So
We got her.
chat,
Good job,
what
chat.
am
We
I
got
s-
her. So fun.
So let's try to do a game.
Go
I'll
for it.
say I'll sign a word, and chat has to say what it is, and then you say if it's correct.
Easy mode.
Chat, what did I say? Chat, what did I say?
I like the
It's
slide.
easy.
I like the slide.
You liked it? Not Carlo. Cami, what the? Carlo. Hello. That was easy. Easy. Hello. Okay.
Phase
okay.
up.
Face up.
If you remember nothing else from the stream chat, remember that P is phase
up.
up.
Face up, but turned.
Yeah.
And then later, I would love to have you try to say like a simple sentence, and we have to guess what you're saying.
So you want me to finger spell something?
Finger spell something first,
Okay.
so we train ourselves.
All right. Did you just full screen it?
Yep.
Okay.
One more time.
Ready?
Uh-huh.
And I'm slow comparatively.
Wait, okay, wait. There was a C, there was a H, there was a R, and then there was like a, I think this,
There you go.
what is this one?
You left out one. C H R I S.
Trey?
You're thinking about it too hard.
Oh, Chris. I
Yeah.
was like, Trace.
You're trying to
Trace,
sound it
what
out.
is-
It's great.
I was like, what is Trace?
Yeah. So, and to be fair, I'm slow at finger spelling comparatively to people in the sign language community, especially people that were born into it and have been doing it their entire lives. They're so fast with finger
Yeah,
spelling.
can you imagine? Yeah, they're so used to it. Like,
It's their language, and so it's like I
like
said, you get to the point where you pick up on the first letter and the last letter,
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
then
what I
you
was
pick
saying.
out
I was
one or
going
two
for-
in the middle, and so your brain does the Wheel of Fortune. You know, I'd like to buy a vowel, please. But that's not optimal sign language, right? What's not optimal? Going fast or picking out
No, I think
specific letters?
I think that letters, like, this is just spelling. This is for when
Yeah.
you have like a word that you don't have, like, for example, Julia. How can you say
Yeah.
Julia?
If you can't
It's like-
remember the sign or you don't know the sign, then you'll finger spell it. So that's the fun part. That would get really old, right? Every time you meet someone and every time you talk to someone or they want to talk to you, they want to say, hey, Julia or G or whatever, they would have to, hey, and then spell out your whole name, right?
Oh no, it's just a good.
We,
Hey G.
we think that it's a waste of time too. And I say we like I'm
Oh.
somebody, but yeah, so part of becoming a member of the deaf community is getting your name sign. You can't give it to yourself.
Oh.
You can't
you have a
decide
name-
what it is yourself. Your friends decide, your community decides, and it's based off of your name and then like your personality traits and stuff and everything. So it tells
so
the person you're introducing yourself to a story about yourself through what your sign is. Oh my goodness. So yeah,
Okay,
you can see how the finger spelling and the sign and stuff and everything, it takes a little while to get used to it. And another thing that I would suggest for any of your viewers that are wanting to learn any sign language, and you who's wanting to learn sign language, the best tip
Yep.
I can give you is set up video calls like this or meet with your friends in person and practice together. It's not seen as disrespectful. It's not seen as rude. If an actual group or individual who is deaf sees you practicing in public or in a place, they are not going to be offended. If anything, they're going to be honored. They're going to be happy. They're going to feel respected and seen because you're trying to learn their language.
That's what
But
I'm saying. Like, I think
there's
that you see it more
Yeah,
like a
go ahead.
language. Yeah, you see it like more like a language, and maybe we feel bad because maybe we think, oh, for us it's in more like I don't know, like as you were saying, like if we treat it differently than just as another language, we're actually saying that it's as being impaired. But
Right.
if we treat it as if it was like a normal language and be like, can you be my tandem buddy? So we shared, like we practice together. It should be all right.
Yep, exactly. And it has that negative connotation attached to it because of it being impaired or being a problem. So a lot of people are like, "Oh, you need to have a reason to learn sign language. Like you need to a family member must be deaf or a friend must be deaf, whatever." Which can be the case, that's fine, but anyone can learn it just cuz it is another language, just like if you wanted to learn Chinese or German or excuse me, or any other language.
why?
So, the reason I say to practice with other people is there's a difference between understanding the vocabulary and conversation comprehension. So, something I found my first 6-8 months of learning the language, I was watching a lot of videos. I was attending classes where they were teaching me the vocabulary. But then as soon as I tried to have a conversation, I knew what I was saying. I had no idea what the other person was saying because I wasn't the one signing it. So comprehension is just like reading comprehension. You have to see it and translate or interpret it to start building your comprehension so you can quickly recognize what someone is saying.
Actually, did you find your sight, smell, and sense of touch improved with time?
Sight, I don't know. I wouldn't say.
Sight while wearing glasses.
If you ask my friends that I play video games with, they would say for sure that my reaction time and my sight went up because, I'll be dead and spectating what they're doing. I'd be like, you see him on the left. And they're like, I don't see that guy. And I'm like, no, he's right there. And oh, yeah, he is there. So, like, I do notice things because when you become less dependent on one sense, you kind of just rely more on the others. So I don't know if they got better as much as I just started paying more attention to them.
Okay. Do you want to try to say one, like, to sign one sentence, and we have to guess what you're saying? Make it easy.
It is a question. It is a question.
Okay, so can you do that one more time? Can I lift you up?
Or
May
when you lift your friends up, what are you doing for them?
I'm giving them food?
You're helping them.
What? Oh, help. This is help.
Yeah. So you got can.
Okay.
That was good. You got can.
Can. Yeah. Okay, this is can.
I help you.
Okay, you.
Yeah.
I love how Link's helping someone with giving them food.
It's a good way to help, I'll be honest. Most times people are just hangry,
Yeah, very. Oh, this is hungry.
That's a combo sign. So there's hungry, okay? But just do it once. Stop. Okay. Don't do it more than once because that's horny. So hungry.
Hungry?
Just down once. Just go down once. That's
One.
it. If you go more than once, it's horny. Don't do that one. We don't want to tell people we're that. Yeah, you're already flirting with me, okay? We don't want to be flirting with other people.
What is the other naughty one that I said? What is that?
Here, I'll just message you it.
No, never mind.
Yeah, no? Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't think so.
Okay.
We're thirsty for knowledge, Jake says. Oh, man. I love your chat, by the way. It's probably one of the most family-like chats I've ever been a part of. I love it.
Okay.
Angry because hungry can be your sign name. It shows true intent of wanting to help by knowing just a couple signs. And that's what I tell people that work in like the service industry too, is you don't have to be fluent in sign language, but knowing just like 3 or 4 signs shows that you care enough about your customer base that to realize that it may happen and you may want, to help them in a better way. So that's important. One last one that's important to put in there before the "can I help you" is I'm learning sign.
So this is so good. Like this is
I'm
actually
taking knowledge and I'm putting it in my head.
Like what you would actually like to do, like with your books, like for an exam, just.
Yep, learning. Yep. Just want to like that meme of that kid that's like scooping his book.
It's exactly what I was thinking about.
Learning.
That's exactly what the kid doing. So. Oh.
You're a student. Okay, but don't go so crazy with it. You get excited. But yeah.
I'm making a lot of signs.
So sign, it can go either way, like with your hands coming over towards you, or with your hands going up away from you. Either way is fine.
Is it actually like...
So I'm learning sign.
Can I be, I'm student.
Yeah. Of sign language.
Sign language.
Mm-hmm.
Of sign.
That's what you signed. That's what you signed the first time. Yeah. So you said I'm student sign language.
Oh good.
So
good.
You can say like I'm learning sign. I want practice. I know you and chat with your dirty little minds.
Yeah. Does it ever get awkward?
It's just like this is work. So it's like hammering something. It's work.
This is.
It's work.
Do you know what this means in Italian?
I have an idea.
Okay. Can I ask you? Can you do a pickup line with sign language?
You can, but it doesn't work well. You will find that a lot of hearing people think that deaf people are very rude, and they're not. They're direct. They say what they observe. That's it. You know what I mean? It's very observant, and so they're very direct and to the point. They're not actually rude. So pickup lines in sign language don't translate very well because they're just very direct.
I have a question.
I have answers.
Is there...
You seem nervous.
Yes, I'm very nervous about asking this question. Is there I'm just gonna say it. Is there dirty talk in like in sign language? Like how?
I mean, is there dirty talk in relationships where you're not right next to each other? Yeah. There's texting.
No. When you are like you're one in front of each other.
Yeah. So not so much in. I don't have a whole lot of experience with this. But I will say that in a relationship within the deaf community or with someone who is deaf, it is different because hearing couples can lay on the couch and watch a movie and cuddle or do whatever, and you don't have to be looking at each other. With a deaf relationship in those kinds of situations, whether it's just like basic cuddling all the way up to intense in the moment type stuff, you have to stop and face each other, look at each other, and to sign or to see what the other person's saying or to lip read. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I would say, God, Mom, if you're watching, I'm sorry.
No.
I would say in these situations, if I can't specifically see the person's face to lip read, then I would feel. I would feel to see if things are going well.
I got it. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's a good question because there's a lot of differences on daily life that people don't think about. And it's like, I was dating a while back, and we were walking out to the car to leave, and it was new-ish to me, and it was definitely new to her. She'd never interacted with anyone who was deaf before. That was her first. She was trying to learn sign language, that kind of stuff. But it was the simple daily routines we don't think about that were different. So, like, when we were walking out to the car to leave, she was locking the door as we were leaving, so I was still just walking. And I couldn't hear that she was still at the door or that she was behind me. And she had a whole conversation with me on the way to the car. And then when we got there, she remembered, you got none of that. And I was like, none of what? And she was like, I feel awful. And she felt bad about it for days. And I had to reassure her, like, it's normal. I'm still getting used to it. You're still getting used to it. It's a whole different experience. But, how many times are you talking about, like, what was it? Day before yesterday, you were like, your mom was making fun of you because you were like, but, like, really loud. And so she was on the other side of the house going, but, or whatever. But, like, that kind of stuff, it's different. It's different. So there's a lot of things about daily life that, for me, changed, that were very different. And it was very eye-opening, obviously. Because it's not like I can be like, well, this was a fun experiment, cool, let's go back. I can't do that now.
Yeah.
So.
A translation in sign language of Julia, get a hold of yourself. No. Oh, no.
Yep. Good.
Oh,
So make sure you start with the palms out. So not C's, but with the palms out. And then you're not doing C's. Your thumbs are actually up by your fingers. Bam.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it, like, you care a lot about. It's not just about, like, a little bit. Like, if I do this, you don't understand. Like, you do understand, but it's not.
I understand because I know what you're trying to do. Yeah, I understand because I know what you're trying to do. But in a normal conversation, if you just walked up to me and you just started throwing out random signs and you did like this, I would have no idea what you were saying. You'd have to do how.
Oh,
But yeah, keep going. You're doing great. Doing great. So you got how are you? What comes next? Yep. Can.
Yep. Can.
So that's the basic signs that I was going to talk to you about. Yes, no.
Why don't you do yes and no?
Yes, this is like the head nodding. Yes.
Oh, all right.
No, it's just kind of like stop. Like no.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah. That's the way I think of it. That's how I remember it. And again, as you're going through, any of you that are interested and you're learning this kind of stuff, feel free, because you have a background, a history of speaking verbally. Feel free to associate any of this to something that makes sense to you intuitively, that associates the sign to the word. So, like, for me, that's a lot of what I do. Like, my favorite one to demonstrate is you put your hand like this with your thumb, and then you put your hand over it. That's turtle. That's a turtle. It makes sense, right? You got the shell and you got the head. That's turtle. Also, sign is very, very based on what you do with your daily life. It is.
Makes sense.
So the vocabulary that I've learned in the 2 years I've been learning it, the conversation skills that I've learned are very much based around my group of friends and what I do on a daily basis with my kids and things like that. So
how do you say video games?
Oh, so this is like games.
Makes sense.
And then this is like play. So like play games. So like for my son, he has a Switch, a Nintendo Switch. He loves it. Well, this is the sign for change or switch. So like I tell him that he can play his Switch game.
Does this mean something for you?
Change game. This? Sort of. It's kind of like finger guns. Like, hey, how's it going, you know?
In Italian, it means like, no.
Like nothing?
Like they're like, do you still have some more paper, like some more magazine for that, blah, blah, blah? You go like.
So nothing or no. Yeah. So
nothing.
that's.
Or what does this mean for you?
So this, like an O, like this, that's nothing. Or no, like no, I don't have any more.
It means that you're pooping your pants and you're scared. So So if you come to me like, oh, I don't want to play against you, I'll be like,
So
you can
that's
see it, right?
so you take the thumb.
This is poop in your pants.
That's poop. Poop.
Poop. Oh, makes sense. Like
Makes sense because you got the butt and you got the poop that comes out.
makes sense.
I told you, intuitive, very intuitive. So expression in the face is a very large part of sign language. And you can never be too animated. If it gets to the point where I can't see what you're doing with your hands, then that's too animated. But other than that, as far as the face and your excitement or your sad or your expression level, it's good. So
This
yesterday. It's like before, yesterday, past tense. And then if you go down with it, like down here, I just can't do it down here because my camera. But if you go down with it, that's like late.
Like this.
Like G's always late. It's an important one for you to know.
Oh. You're creating a riot in my chat. What do you mean I love him? Can I show you some more Italian signs and you tell me what?
Absolutely. Let me see some more.
Okay.
Because I love it. I love it. That's like I know, right? Like I'm with you.
Yeah, like
I understand.
this is like. What about this one?
I don't know. To me, that looks like an anime thing. That's what they always do in like the Japanese animes, and they go nah when they're making fun of someone. So.
Ci vedono. How do you translate this in English? It's like this one, same kind of vibe of this one.
Oh, okay. See, this is important for me to know because I'm trying to go to Italy like in 2 years, so I need to understand these so that when I see them,
You know, like you're smart, like kind of. You know what I'm doing, like.
Okay, I got you.
You got.
Man, y'all do have a lot of gestures.
We have a lot. Oh, do you know this one?
One more time. This one's for you, chat. No, I don't know that one. What's that one do?
It's the posture. This is like never like you don't. It's rude. You don't like you say like yeah.
Why would you do that to chat?
You know.
It's just
But
terrible.
are you okay?
What is?
How do you say I want a hug?
I want hug. It depends on where you're from, the region. And like I was saying, that your chat may not know,
Okay.
even within languages, there's other dialects. So in the United States, and we have American Sign Language, and there's an East Coast version, there's a West Coast version, there's a Midwest version, there's an urban or like a hip hop kind of version. Like they use a lot of slang and all that, and it's the coolest. And I wish I could learn it, but like I said, I blended into my wall, so it's just not going to work. But it's amazing to watch. Like I follow a lot of people on influencers that are deaf on Instagram and things like that, and they use it a lot of the slang and all that kind of stuff. And it's really bad for me as somebody that's learning. I shouldn't be watching all the slang.
No, but that's how you actually like. For me, same. Like whenever I watch TV shows, it's always like with some slang in it, and I know a lot of slang. Maybe I don't know like the perfect grammar, but I know the slang, and that's how you actually communicate with people.
It's just really funny to me that Nightbot said that it's currently playing "I Want to Be Your Girlfriend" by Girl in Red, and then Kelgan said, "Can we repeat how to say love?"
Oh, love.
It's just they lined up really well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like something on your mind, Kelgan. Anyway.
You good, Kelgan?
So inanimate objects, non-living objects, is love, or love with just the fist. This is love.
I'm gonna let you with chat for a second so you can answer to whatever questions they have. I'm gonna get a snack. I'll be right back, okay?
Okay. Fire away, chat. So like is like pinching with your middle finger and your thumb away from your chest. So you're saying like I like. So like that's again more inanimate object based, like coffee. I like coffee, which is like a coffee grinder. How do you say let's be friends? This is getting all right. How many of you have interests or potential love interests that are deaf? I am confused. How do I say pineapple pizza? I'm not gonna do that one. Can't do it. Totally unrelated. What games do you play? So I play Overwatch, Overwatch 2, Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, Valorant. A lot of FPS games. I play a lot of FPS games. This is the sign for clean, like nice or clean.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense that you're saying like it's like pure and clean is holy. Pure and clean is holy. So that wouldn't really work for how G says it, you know, because it's not pure and clean when she says it. It's, you know, you feel kind of dirty after she says it. How many times is that now?
I haven't said it. I didn't say it.
You just said it like 6
that.
times. 134 times. Look at that. How to say I don't love chocolate. The thumb under the chin, away. So that's like can't, don't, won't. It's a negating. So like, oh, don't love chocolate. Chocolate.
You don't say. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then if you take it all the way down to the other hand, that's good. So like, have a good day. Kind of day. So the sun goes all the way across the sky. Good day. Day. This is night because the sun goes down. This is morning because the sun comes up. It's not here. Do not put it on your bicep and go up. We're not flipping people off. It's not a thing.
Oh, that's the same thing. It's the same. Like that.
Right,
like
right.
that.
It's up here on the forearm. And then this, it's literally just the sun comes up over the horizon. So that's morning, noon, night.
God.
Oh, there's the questions I was expecting.
What?
Someone was asking how I play the FPS shooter games if I can't hear. It's very difficult.
Explain that while I get water.
Oh, water? Okay.
I forgot.
Because you're not a cactus. Yeah, so basically it depends on the game. If the game has a very intrusive anti-cheat system that picks up any third-party software, then I can't do what I normally do. I have an overlay, kind of like my captions overlay, and it, again, reads the audio inputs. So if there's sound on my right, sound on my left, whatever, it makes that side of the screen light up a little bit, like it changes color slightly, like it gets a little lighter yellow or a little lighter red or whatever. But that's very hard to distinguish. I don't know if it's footsteps, I don't know if it's gunshots, I don't know if somebody threw a grenade or somebody's standing right next to me, like talking, whispering in my ear. It's hard to tell. So, but it just kind of lights up the screen a little bit. Some programs like Valorant have a very intrusive anti-cheat system, and even though it's not a cheat at all, it's not even that much of an aid. It just kind of lets me know noise is happening around me in some direction or the other. Valorant doesn't like overlays running, so Valorant will block that. So I have to play without it. And with that, it's just pure game sense and experience. It's just understanding the maps, the sequence of events, how things happen, and being able to predict it. And sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I read these kids like a book, and sometimes I get just constantly crushed. So it's hit or miss, but it's still fun for me. So that's how I play the FPS games. Call of Duty is my go-to because it's so easy. It's just a run and gun, point and shoot. You don't have to worry about anything kind of game. So
someone in chat was asking about, can I help you? So can I help you?
Yeah. So help is like this hand is open
I'm
and
lifting
it's
you up.
supporting and lifting up the other hand, which would symbolize like a person almost, I guess, because the thumb's up.
Even though it's the same thing that comes out of your butt when you're talking
Right.
about poop.
So you can help someone poop.
Yeah. Wait. Don't. If you come to Italy, don't do that one.
This
the
one?
last one. No, don't do that one. It's,
What is that?
Do you remember this one?
Work?
No, no, just this one.
Having
That
a
was
good
something
time
like
together in bed. Thanks,
yeah,
Fabry. That's
same. Yeah,
all
yeah.
right. Not doing that one ever again. That's getting
Never
down
do
to
it. Yes.
business.
Yep,
Jake.
yep.
I like the way Jake thinks.
But because it came from the fact that all of the things like with sign language are very like you can understand what you're talking like about like
Very
most of the
intuitive,
time.
yeah.
Are they also intuitive?
For like dirty talk?
Yeah. How like how how do you say
Don't ask me how to say doing the dirty. Don't do
no,
it.
no, I'm not gonna ask you
Okay.
that. I'm not gonna ask you that. No. That would be a little bit too much.
What? I just
What?
had an itchy finger. That's all that is.
This is actually sneaky. Anyway, my fingers don't slide.
Is that
Wait.
an Italian gesture I don't know about?
No, I cannot make my fingers slide. Yeah, okay, it's fine.
Also comes with practice. You know,
So you
just
can
saying.
get.
What them
I don't
hands
want to know
do.
how many times you did. Oh my.
How do you say bonk go to horny jail?
Shut up, stupid chat. With sign language, everything can be that. Like doing.
Only to you.
No,
Not to
me.
you. I don't mean you as in like G specifically, but I mean you as
Okay.
in like people that have spent their life hearing and speaking. Gestures were not, and I'm one of them. I spent 32 years of my life hearing and speaking, so gestures were not required. They were an anecdote. They were an addition
Okay.
to. They were something to make something funny or to make something silly. I didn't need them to communicate. I could sit on my hands and talk, and you would still understand what I'm saying because I'm talking and you're hearing it. For sign language, it is the language, is with the hands. I'm trying to say this without being insensitive or making you feel insensitive,
No.
but that's like
Make us feel
going
un-
to India and laughing at them speaking their language because
Fair.
they said gogong or something. You know what I mean? Like, aha, that's a
Yeah.
funny word. Essentially it's the same thing. Like,
Like we can make fun also of other languages if you want to. Do you know
Yeah.
how they say?
make fun of Italian.
Do you know how they say?
That first 6 months, first 8 months, when I lost most of my hearing was rough for me and for my family.
I can imagine.
So, because people don't think about that either. Like being born deaf or losing your hearing late in life, your family has to adjust the entire way they communicate. If not, they can't communicate with you. So, like family get-togethers are Thanksgiving,
My
is
God.
coming up and all this
And you have to
Christmas.
look at all the faces of everyone talking, and you have to be like,
Yeah, I have to follow all the conversations, and then next thing you know, everyone's laughing, and I miss the joke, and then I ask questions, and I ask about something that somebody just said, and so then they're all looking at me like I'm out of the loop, or most of the time my family's good about it, like they'll repeat it, but I can tell they know they're repeating it, and like they just said it. You get that feeling where it's like, oh, I'm the dumb one, so I just sit in the corner and read my books or do my Sudoku and stuff.
No.
But I've been one of them for 32 years, and only the last 2.5-ish years have I started to educate myself on the culture. So again, for anybody watching that might take offense to any of this, or if I misrepresent or say anything wrong, I apologize. I'm still learning too, and I'm just trying to help with that awareness. So I want to make that clear. Okay,
like,
to show with the finger to the watch wrist and show a hand to say, give me 5 minutes, I'll get help.
like,
That is perfectly acceptable. I will say some effort is always better than zero effort. The worst thing you can do in a situation where someone who is needing assistance and they are deaf approaches you or asks you for assistance, at least from what you can tell, the worst thing you can do is ignore them or blow them off, or just the whole like whatever thing. If they're like, hey, I need help, whatever, or they're trying to get some attention, if you're just like, whatever, wave them off, do something, and walk away, that's a human being. They're not a dog. They're not a cat. They're not a rat. They're not a bird. Don't shoo them away. They're a human being. Give them that common courtesy. They're no different than you, other than they're speaking a different language.
language.
So yes, you can. 5 minutes? I'm going, gesture. Gesturing is
Yeah.
extremely helpful. If you don't know sign language, gesturing is fast, easy, and usually it's easy to understand. I'll go get someone, 5 minutes, stay here. They get it. They understand.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's most of the time it's super helpful. Also, there's phones and there's writing.
How do you say
Gesturing's obviously
sorry?
faster.
How do you say sorry?
So, like the A hand shape
Yeah.
on the like over the heart,
Mm-hmm.
and you go in a circle. So that's
Like,
sorry, and then an open hand like this is please.
please. And
Sorry.
how is there a difference between sorry and excuse me?
Yes.
Oh, there is.
Yeah. So this is
Uh-huh.
sorry. Flat
Sorry.
hand,
Please.
curved hand. This is excuse me.
Like you're talking like, excuse me. Oh, also like if I see someone that is in need, can I go like,
Excuse me. My name's.
no.
Learning sign. And then you can say but. So like
but
but please sign
slow.
slow. So you just kind of
Slow.
move your hand up real like slow up your
Slow.
arm. So
Okay.
but please sign slow.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah.
That's a full-on conversation there.
Is there a common way to open a conversation, call for attention for a person like excuse me? So yeah, you can do excuse me if you are making facial contact with them. That sounds so weird. Facial contact. I just said that out loud. Feels like our faces are touching. But you get what I'm saying. If they are looking at you and you have their attention as
Yeah.
you're walking up, like you're walking up to them and they look over and notice and they're looking at you, you can sign excuse me. The common way to get someone's attention in sign language, you just wave at them until they see you. And if they don't see you,
Ah,
you smack the table if they're touching the table.
I-
If they're standing on a wood floor, you stomp your foot. A lot of people
Is
are
it-
going to look at you. And when they look at you, you wave at the person you want to talk to.
is it proper to like if you have to like if you're trying to get the attention of someone that cannot hear, is it proper to like touch them on the shoulder like
It depends on
or
your
is there a
relationship with
thing?
them.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we got to a point where like taps, touch the chair. My kids, when I'm working and they're here, the light switch you can see on the wall there, that goes out to the living room. So they'll
They go.
open the door and flip the lights.
Mm.
Same as like my doorbell and stuff. When people are at the door, they push it and it flashes my lights in the house.
That's actually going to ask you if how can you hear the phone ringing or phone? I think it's vibration, but the door you have the a connection with the lights.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like a wireless signal, kind of like Bluetooth or something like that, that connects from the doorbell to these like outlets, plugs that go in the outlets, power plugs. And then I plug my lamps or whatever into those outlets. So when the button gets pushed, it clicks on and off the power outlet, basically. So it makes the light flash.
It's amazing.
And
Do
then
you have like a YouTube or a Twitch channel where people can actually follow you, or like if you ever
It's-
go to do another presentation or something, they can woohoo!
Yeah. Yes, I have both, but they were both started when I was still hearing and I was gaming. So I haven't done a lot with them recently. I did recently start the plans for making a brand change, I guess, with my Twitch channel. So I'm going to start doing more educational and less gaming
Nice.
with Twitch. And then with YouTube, I'm creating technically a third channel that's going to be more awareness based. So like days in the life, doing different errands, going to different places from my point of
That
view,
sounds amazing.
speaking on it, talking about it, dealing with it. And so people get a better view of what it's like, to how difficult it can be to just go to the grocery store or to go to Target or heaven forbid I try to go see a movie. It's this, I wear glasses and then when I go into the movie theater, I have to wear these glasses that go over my glasses and they put captions.
Oh, true.
they put captions in the glasses that they give me. So I'm staring at the screen and there's little captions that show up.
Do they exist?
Yeah.
Like, and every cinema has it, or like
No,
only cool
not
ones?
every cinema has
only
it.
the.
There's only 2 around here that have it, that I have to go to. But it's really awkward because I look like Geordi from Star Trek with like this big thing on my face. And my kids get embarrassed, and they're learning not to be embarrassed, but they're kids, you know, they're very honest and they wear their heart on their sleeve. So it's just, everything's a different experience. The world's not built for people who can't hear. It's just not, because the majority of people hear, you know? So, can't cater to the few, you got to cater to the many on a larger scale like that. So I get it, but helping bring that awareness, because I was someone who was completely oblivious and completely ignorant of the deaf community and the deaf culture prior to losing my hearing. I never interacted with anybody that was deaf, so I had no clue what was polite, what was impolite, what was acceptable, what they go through. And now, after my experience, I'm like, man, this needs to be... We don't teach sign language in schools.
They should be. They should, like, as we are learning English, we should also be learning a little bit of sign language.
Yeah. And here in the States, they offer Spanish, French, Italian. Some places offer Latin. In fact, I just met one of my neighbors the other day. She was walking her dog, and her dog just was like, I gotta see this guy. Like, he was freaking out, like pulling hard to get to me. And so I went over and started petting the dog, and I asked if it was okay, obviously, trying not to be rude. But I stood up and realized she had been talking to me the entire time, and I felt bad because I forgot to say and introduce. And that's the thing, is when you introduce yourself to people, hi, I'm G, whatever, nice to meet you. I have to say, hi, I'm Chris. I can't hear you. I have to read your lips. So please look at me when you're talking. Like my introduction is different, you know, so I forgot that I'd said that, but she was telling me that in high school, she had learned sign language. Her high school had offered it. So some schools do, for sure. But it's just not on a wide scale at all. Like none of the schools I went to offered it. Chris, how do you say something when you want to say something at louder voices? You emphasize it with your facial expressions and your emotions and your hand gestures. So there's a difference between like, let's go to the store versus let's go to the store. You know, like it looks silly. Like people think it looks silly, but it's if you ever watch an interview of someone that's deaf, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. But there's a guy in there who's deaf who plays the brother of the main character. He's also on this season's Dancing with the Stars, and he's deaf. So it's pretty amazing. But he does this interview on like the morning show or something like that, you know, like a talk show. And he's telling this story for like 2 or 3 minutes. And there's an interpreter there that's speaking everything he's signing. But you almost don't need her. Like you almost just don't need her to say anything. Because the way he gestures and signs and the emotions he's showing and how he's talking about it, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And like, it's a funny story. But you can't help but like kind of fall in love with the language just by how he's doing it. Like it's it's amazing.
That you cannot hear the music from the call, and I was singing to the song.
Oh.
And I was like, oh wait, let me mute myself. I don't want to be embarrassed. And I'm like, oh, hold on.
That would be an important thing to do. You know, don't want me to hear it.
Sorry. I hope you don't mind with these things.
No, as you've found so far, I'm an open book.
That's what I love about it. It's really, really nice to have been able to discuss it like this with you. We have been in this call for 3 hours.
No.
I swear. I'm
so
not even
sorry.
joking. No. I realized that too. I appreciate it. But no, I don't want to steal too much time from you. It's a Sunday anyway, so I want to...
Literally doing nothing.
I didn't even realize it was like 3 hours, to be honest.
Yeah.
This is how enjoyable it is having calls with you. Yeah. Also, the last time that we had a call, we stayed in the call for like 3 hours.
Yeah, I think it was like 2 hours or something. We were supposed to talk for like 15 minutes.
Yeah. Just to figure stuff out. Is Chris streaming on Twitch? Not yet. Like, you did he's gonna come back soon, right?
Yeah, I took a break when I lost my hearing. It took a while to readjust. It's weird not being able to interact with everything the same way. So I'm practicing. I get OBS up every now and then and just kind of like practice like I'm talking to chat and stuff or whatever and trying to see how it feels. But yeah, mine will be more educational. I do some gaming.
Let us know whenever you do. Let me know.
I'm pretty cracked at gaming. I'm just saying I'm pretty good. Pretty good.
All right. Let's 1v1.
Okay.
All right.
You choose the
know,
game.
I just got to goal in Valorant.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute.
Really cute.
I think my lowest is platinum. My lowest season was platinum.
All right, chat. This was it for today. I hope you had a nice call with Chris. Chris is gone.
No, it's definitely a lot different now. I think I would probably be in like silver or something for sure now because it's too easy to come up on me, you know? It's too easy. I could literally be running through the map and getting shot at and have no idea. You know what I mean? 'Cause unless they hit me. If they hit me, then I know. But otherwise, if they're just popping shots, I'm just like cruising, you know?
Yeah, nice. They're not gonna miss you too much because in any case, you're gonna be helping out with the podcast. So, yeah, because he's helping me out with the podcast that will come soon out. We are figuring things out. I have to write down and plus record stuff, but we are officially working on it. Finally.
I need Chat's help. She's been super motivated about this podcast, and myself and another person have come on and decided to help make the podcast happen. If you guys want the podcast to happen, you got to stay on top of G about keeping her motivated to actually record this stuff.
Thank you.
Because saying it's not working,
she
ignores my messages all the time.
No, I don't. Why?
It takes like 3 days to get a response.
I'm so sorry. But thank you so much again for today. Really, it was really inspiring. Thank you so much. I'm gonna let you go to your Sunday. I'm sure you're gonna have some rest to do since you work so much.
I've still got more work to do.
Of course. Have a beautiful rest of your Sunday. Thank you so much again.
You guys too. Thank you so much, G.
That was so nice. That was so nice. Talking about the podcast, and while we were talking, I was like, hold up. Can you please come on stream? They need to see you. They need to see you. I really liked it. Can I please, even I don't know if they're still watching, but if they still are, can I please have claps and hearts in chat just still for Chris so we can send them love even if they're not watching and anything? He was super nice and super funny, right? Very entertaining. Very entertaining. Yeah, people, Sun Sound Gadget. That's Chris. That is Chris. Yeah. I really love his attitude, that's for sure. Sensad, you are an amazing person, for real. Thank you so much for being an inspiration. Oh my goodness. This was... I like to have these conversations. I really like them. They're so nice, chat. They're genuinely so nice.